Barry Allen. I am the fastest man alive.
Hi everybody, how are we all doing? I hope having a good week so far. So today is Wednesday the 19th of November 2014. We're back with The Flash, which aired last night. You can see I've got my little cushion. Yes, so this episode was titled The Flash is Born, and it was pretty much true to its title, essentially. This episode has an old school chum of Barry and Iris's who's been affected by the particle accelerator. That thing has just caused too much trouble for people over the years. Well, I say over the years, but since it got turned on nearly a year ago now. So this particular chap, his name is Tony Woodward. He was a bully back at high school. He bullied Barry Allen quite a lot, especially after the death of Nora, Barry's mother, and he's a bully now. Even now, he's been given super special powers and whatnot. He has the ability to turn his entire body or any part of his body into steel, and it's quite funny that I say that because even Harrison Wells actually says, "Oh, interesting, a man of steel." I was like, now that's clever. Very clever touch how they dropped that one in there. I thought it was pretty good, so that was nice. But yeah, when we first encounter, the Girder, as he is known, which is his code name. Again, Cisco coming up with these names is too awesome. He's seen driving a yellow Hummer, a Humvee, as they like to call them now, and he's being chased by the cops. They're trying to stop him. Eddie Thorne in particular is firing at him, point blank range essentially, and he can see that the bullets aren't actually penetrating him. He sees that the bullets are bouncing off, so he's thinking, oh, something's not right here, and that's when Joe has to get Barry to speak to Eddie to try and throw him off the angle that Tony may not seem as human as he believes him to be. As much as Barry would like to turn around to Eddie and say, yeah, what you saw was real, he has to throw him off the off the scent. But obviously when Barry first encounters Girder, he has no idea how to take him down, and we see him actually punch him, and he breaks his hand, gets 18 fractures in his hand, in his wrist and hand. It was painful, very painful. On the other hand, we've got Joe West has decided he's going to need special extra help essentially regarding the Nora Allen case, and he goes to see none other than Professor or Dr. Harrison Wells himself. And as I was watching this show last night, I was tweeting to myself, I was tweeting out there to everybody, and I basically said, is he really the best person you want to help with this case? And I'm thinking, I wouldn't really ask Wells for help. But you see what happens. I'll get to what happens between them later on without giving it away. Cisco decides that Barry needs to learn a thing or two about taking down someone who has the ability to turn himself into steel, because Barry just can't get a punch in, and Girder is constantly taking him down. There's even a part of the episode where Barry feels really bad that he's not able to take down Tony Woodward, and he shouts it to Harrison and Cisco and Caitlin, saying, this guy was a bully to me at school, and he's a bully again now. He's already taken me down twice, and I just can't do anything to him. He felt useless. He said it himself. I've got superpowers, and I still can't take this guy down. So he really did feel, useless. Like he's just not worthy of, having to go head to head and toe to toe with the likes of Tony Woodward. And at the beginning of the episode, Iris is writing her blog. They're still using the streak. Oh, really does grind me. She's writing her blog, and there was one point where Tony actually comes to see Iris at where she works at CC Jitters. And just as it went for a commercial break, I basically said, and this is why Iris, should not write her blog. Old school friends will track you down. When it came back from the commercial break, Tony actually turned around and said, "Well, I saw your blog, but you're writing about the streak, so I thought I'd come and visit." I didn't even think that was going to be said by Tony. I just said it as, you know, as a way of just saying, stop writing your blog, people are going to chase after you. And what does Tony say? Yeah, I read your blog about the streak, yeah, and I thought I'd come and check you out, sort of thing. Even later on when he kidnaps Iris, he's telling Iris not to write about the streak anymore, but to write about him. You know, that as far as he's concerned, the streak is nothing. You know, he took down the streak. He's bragging about the whole thing and everything as well. And so it comes to that old age question. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? And we see what happens in this episode when that question gets asked, because wow. Yeah, it was pretty cool what happened. Also at the same time, I didn't quite like the way Iris was behaving in this episode. She just wouldn't listen to the Flash whatsoever. He's trying to warn her, stop writing your blog because it'll only get you in trouble. You know, but she was like, no, I've got to write about it. She's getting all happy and excited, whereas the Flash is trying to bring her down a peg or two. And at the same time, I'm thinking, Iris, stop it. He's trying to stop you from getting hurt. Don't you understand? Just stop it. But no, she just wouldn't listen, and that's where she gets kidnapped by Tony. Yeah, so as I said about Joe and Harrison, we find out that Joe doesn't actually want Harrison to help him with the investigation. He starts asking Harrison certain questions, which I was thinking, oh, Joe may have Harrison figured out here. But then when Harrison mentions a name, about the woman by the name of Tess Morgan, he asked Joe to look it up. He actually felt a bit offended that Joe would even dare to think that Harrison, the timing of Barry Allen's mother, her death, the timing of Nora Allen's death, is coincided with when Harrison arrives into Starling City. I'm sorry, Starling City. This isn't Arrow, you idiot. Central City. It coincides with when Harrison first came to Central City. But when he eventually looks up Tess Morgan, we find out who Tess Morgan is, what she is to Harrison, and pretty much sort of like become they apologize. Well, Joe apologizes to Harrison, this, that, and the other. But it's what happens at the end of the episode, and I love these little bits at the end that we get in the Flash. Was very intriguing. It was creepy, but very intriguing. Whether or not Joe is actually sitting there shitting his pants and thinking, oh fuck, I probably shouldn't have done anything or said anything, I don't know. Or it could be the flip side and he's thinking, right, what the hell's going on? Who did this? Why is this happening to me? I need to find out, investigate. And I'm sure he's going to bring Barry into the fold as well about what happened to him at the end there. But yeah, it was pretty awesome episode. Cisco does get the best phrases. Supersonic punch, baby! I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I just need to quickly talk about these heroes showing people who they really are, revealing their secret identity. I wasn't particularly happy when Barry revealed who he was to Tony in this episode. I just thought, why? What was the reason for that? He didn't need to know who you actually were. It could have just been left at that and that's it. Just let it lie. But no, we had to show him who he was. Yeah, so finally though, when Iris and Barry were talking to each other, Iris is talking about her blog again, this, that and the other, and she mentions a man who has the ability to burn but doesn't actually, get caught on fire or something, something about a burning man. And I found that to be interesting because I know who they are talking about in that one. And if you don't know, well, come on, seriously, keep up. Then finally, when she's going on about the streak, she is telling Barry how he moves in a certain way, you know, in the blink of an eye, and Barry was like a flash. And then that implanted the name into Iris's mind, into her head. And just like Barry Allen did at the end of the first episode, after he met Oliver Queen in Starling City, Iris does the same thing by saying how you know, the name that he is the Flash and how it's going to catch on, all that sort of stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, so that was awesome. So yeah, but love the way that episode played out. Pretty cool. Again, the effects are absolutely brilliant. I just hope that Iris can now, you know, be careful in what she writes in her blog, essentially, and doesn't get caught again, especially by old school chums in particular. But anyway, that's it from me. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.